He's an NFL analyst for Yahoo Sports. He's the host of the Football 301 podcast. You can also watch Nate on Yahoo Sports Draft Live, streaming for the first 3 rounds on the Yahoo Sports website and app. His first appearance on this show. Thank you for joining us, Nate. Before we get started, though, and play Naughty or Tice, which is the only reason we're having you on, I think, you're most interested about what in this upcoming draft? And thank you again for joining us.
Most interested? I just want to see where the quarterbacks go. As always, I'm basic. Quarterbacks, they draw my eyes. I follow the stars. But thank you for having me. But yeah, I just want to see where the quarterbacks end up because there's been a lot of hoopla, a lot of flags being planted. I want to see some of those flags go down.
Hoopla. All right,
that's really what I want to see.
We've already gotten to the hoopla. I thought it was
who.
Okay, so all right, we're at the hoopla. Before we get to draft stuff, did you see the story with A.J. Brown getting his car recovered after it was stolen? Did you see all of this?
I did not. I did not see A.J. Brown's car. Was he reading a book and that's why it's got stolen?
No,
was he a little distracted reading a book?
I only bring it up because it's breaking news now, and I expect you to know every single thing that is happening anywhere in sports, in the sport right now at this time. So you don't know anything about what I'm talking about.
That'd be a weird.
I do not.
Mobile alert.
I do not. I'm 5 layers deep in the draft. I'm watching Ashton Genty versus Nevada Reno. That's what I'm pulling right now. So did not see A.J. Brown doing that.
All right. Billy, get me more information on this story, please, as it breaks. Jessica, I'm sorry I interrupted you with the breaking A.J. Brown news.
Oh, you didn't interrupt me, Dan. I listened to Nate's podcast with Charles, and I'm a huge fan. And he like he said, he's basic. He wants to see where the quarterbacks go. I'm also basic. I want to see where the quarterbacks go. And right now, there's obviously been a lot of news about Shedeur Sanders. Where is he a reach? Where is he sort of a good pick? Like, are the Steelers going to take him at 21? Where do you see that unfolding?
Yeah, I think Steelers kind of seems like I don't know if floor is the right word or ceiling where he can go highest. Because I think what happened with the Shedeur Sanders experience is that I'll say, because it has been experience this whole draft cycle, is that I think there was more evaluators started evaluating him, the decision makers, the coaches, the GMs, assistant GMs, the ones up top, they all just kind of went, oh, okay, this is what you are. And this is good and bad. And I think that the realistic slotting for him is starting at pick 20 into the early second round. And you never know because teams get frisky with quarterbacks, especially in the 20s. Oh, our guy's dropping. We got to move up for there. But I think that at pick 20 is or 21, I believe it's where the Steelers are, is really where it starts for him. Because I just think that it's realistic expectations for him. I view him as a second rounder or a day 2 guy, as I would put it, because quarterback grading gets wonky and where they actually go. But that is kind of, I think, more of the consensus than not what has been kind of like publicly happening. And I think it's kind of catching up, and we'll see that on draft night. But the Steelers might be one, but we'll see. It can be all over the place because that's how this class, not just quarterbacks, but the entire class of the draft is there's lack of consensus. So it might be even more wonky on a Thursday and Friday than we usually see.
Man, I want to listen to the words you're saying, but I'm just so lost in your eyes. Just beautiful eyes you have.
Swimming in lagoons is what it feels like. He said wonky 3 times. I didn't hear anything else. There were just a couple of wonkies and something else. And then I was just lost, swimming in his eyes.
I know I'm awake, so my eyes are actually open. Usually they're just slits, and then that's all you can usually see with them. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the blue eye compliments.
Nate, do you know who Andrew Hawkins is?
Yeah.
Who's hotter, him or Method Man?
Hawkins, definitely.
Okay. Wow. I have an update on the A.J. Brown situation. So A.J. Brown's car was stolen, and he put out on Twitter, "Dear Philly, to whoever stole my car last night, I'll make a deal with you. Bring back my car and I won't press charges. Or when I find you today, it's going to be what it's going to be. Take it or leave it, my guy." And his car has been returned, but Brown says the police returned his car and the thief is dealing with consequences. So either he found that car and consequences are being dealt with, or he may have lied to the people saying there'd be no consequences if they returned the car. That's the latest at the news desk. I'm Billy Gill.
Thank you. It's a good story. So basically, A.J. Brown threatened someone, a thief, to return his car successfully.
He made an ultimatum, it sounds like.
That is excellent work by A.J. Brown. But I'm surprised that Nate Tice hadn't even heard of the story because, again,
I have not.
I know. Well, but I
mean, if his car was getting drafted, Nate would know
maybe.
about it.
That's
It's
right.
draft
I know
season,
about it.
baby.
I had a late second grade on his car, so I'm surprised it went this early and that he signed a deal to be dropped in the news this early. I thought the new CBA didn't allow that to be signed before the draft.
Nate, Jessica, do me this favor, please, and explain to me something I simply don't understand. Because while I love that Greg Cody does his exactos and his mock drafts, and I've been making fun of him about it for 20 years, I believe that Jessica and Nate care about this draft more than reasonable human beings should. I also believe that our friend Mina Kimes cares about mock drafts in general more than she cares about anything else in the world. And I'm genuinely confused by the phenomenon. Please explain it to me in your words.
Hope. I think that's what it is. I think hope is what you're selling on draft night. And I think that's why they've packaged it, stamped it, and sold it to everybody. I think that's really what it is. And I think, too, is that college football is so big that you have people that, hey, we're playing member berries with some of these guys. Hey, this guy, you know him. He won the Heisman. Hey, this guy was really good, a 4-year starter for your school, which is unlikely now with everyone transferring. But really, that's what you're selling to teams is that all 32 teams have hope. It's the games haven't started. They haven't started 0-6. They haven't started 0-5. They haven't fired their head coach. Their quarterback isn't actually a lemon, and I think that's what you're selling. And also the draft now, if you notice, is it's rotating all these cold weather cities. And I think that's been a great thing for actually the NFL. It's like, well, also they make more money off of it. So of course it's a great thing for them, but they have gone, the Super Bowl gets the warm weather cities. Well, how do we reward or bring this event to the fans? And I actually think that's been a good part of this. I know it's in Green Bay this year, which is kind of a pain in the ass for most people to get to, but I know being in Pittsburgh, Chicago, Kansas City, Detroit, it was awesome last year. So I think that's a part of it too, is that it's the fan event. While the Super Bowl is the corporate event, the draft is truly the fan event. And I think that's why so many people get hyped up about it.
The college football side of it is why I'm a fan of the NFL and college football, but like you said, I love seeing players that I watch play in college get drafted, and usually, especially in the first round, it's like their dream come true. It's like the best day of their lives, unless they get drafted to the Giants or something like that. But I was going through one of your mock drafts in the car yesterday. I was on like a 7-hour car ride, and Lehman was just naming players, and I was giving their positions and where they went to school just because we were bored. And it seems like a really deep draft for edge rushers specifically. Is that the position group that you think has the most value later on in the later rounds?
I would say the deepest position is running back. There might be double-digit running backs in the first 2 days that get selected. I looked it up. The record since the new millennium, since 2000, is 11 in the top 3 rounds. I think the all-time records in the mid-90s was like 15 or 14, which tells you it's a different age. But I think that the running back is the deepest class with Ashton Genty, too, on top. And there might be 2 or 3 running backs selected in the first, but edge is another spot. And not just edge, D-line in general is pretty good, pretty deep at the top and into the second day. And actually the position that I think has been kind of overlooked a little bit is that there's some depth at offensive line. There might not be the really, really great guys at the top of the draft, but there's a lot of players, I would say late first, early second, that it's a little juicier than you'd expect. Then I think it's been kind of made out to be. And then tight end is another position that has talent at the top and on day 2. Some interesting guys there, like real tight ends too, not the Mike Gesicki types. I know I'm giving a shout out to Dolphins fans here. So
how dare you blaspheme against Gesicki types? What's wrong with those? What's wrong with Gesicki types? I like Gesicki types.
Can't block.
Please,
Okay,
Dan.
You can't block.
All right, I don't need you disparaging Gesickis around here.
Too many Gesicki references already. He's in a nice little renaissance.
I've got no problem with Gesicki. You're the one who.
Receiver.
I'm fine with Gesicki. You're the one who said about him.
I just want him to block once, just once. Just
Yeah,
once.
that's not what he does.
Block once.
It's not what he does.
Nate,
Nate,
what's the comp for Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball?
The one I've gone with for him as a receiver is Chad Johnson. Chad was a much better route runner, became a very polished route runner, but as far as body type and skills and ball skills and everything like that, they're 1-to-1 really to me. Travis might be a little more explosive, but Odell Beckham is another comparison I've heard with him, but that body type, twitchy, He's just an excellent athlete. And then defensively, I've kind of struggled with a few, like Asante Samuel Sr. might be one. Champ Bailey is another one, which is maybe the high end comparison. But the fact that I'm comparing Chad Johnson and Champ Bailey to this guy, it kind of speaks to how crazy he is. He's really the top tier athlete I've watched in a long time. I grew up around Randy Moss, and he's kind of the top athlete I've ever been around. Bobby Bowden, who coached Randy Moss for a semester, I think before he got kicked off, I had to go to Marshall, said, hey, Randy Moss or Deion Sanders to me is the barometer for athleticism, and Randy is a bigger Deion. So I'm saying Travis Hunter is a smaller Randy Moss. Well, then I'm comparing him to Deion, which is, kind of in a roundabout way. But no matter what, he's a freak athlete. And there's some rawness with him as a receiver, but just the talent and just his athleticism, that's like he's going to figure it out. That's what's so cool about him.
Nate, while we're doing player comps, what tier of prospect is Ashton Genty? Wow. A historic season, but is he historically a good running back prospect? The speed and power don't jump off the screen like someone like Adrian Peterson's did. Yes, I'm reading that from your quote, Skeets, because you said it was a good question. So
it was a good question. Yeah, I've been like officially quote unquote evaluating guys for about 10 years now, 11 years. And the top tier running back to me, my favorite running back prospect was Ezekiel Elliott. And then the other guys I would say are in that top tier are Todd Gurley, Bijan Robinson, CMC, and Saquon Barkley. And then if I had to like split that tier, it's Zeke, and then it would be Gurley and Saquon, and then CMC Bijan. I would put Genty in that CMC Bijan tier.
Do these quadrants come to you in your sleep? Like when you're actually dreaming at night, is this in your actual sleep? It is, correct?
Yeah. I grade everything off tiers, and then everything. Oh, that shower was a blue chip shower.
Yeah.
That was a day 2 toothbrushing.
Do you guys?
Do
you guys remember Nate? Excuse me, Nate Tice's playing career. Do any of you remember his playing career?
Wisconsin,
this interview is longer than my career.
No. Do you want to give me the? Can you guys get me the stats from the game? Does Nate know the stats?
Did he only play one game?
Nate,
I have one stat ever. It's one rush for 17 yards, 1 touchdown. And 17 is also how many drinks I had that night. So that was to celebrate it.
What was the score of that game?
Oh, my God. Didn't we drop 80 on him? And then Mike Golick Sr. called us out and actually said it was an embarrassment to the sport. I was like 83-20, I think. I was the human victory cigar in college.
Wait a minute. You averaged 17 yards a carry at Wisconsin?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, 1 for 1, baby. One touch, 1 touchdown. That's how we do it.
Can you believe Indiana made the playoff before Wisconsin did?
No. Wisconsin football is a little touchy subject right now. It's not. I'm not happy with what's going on there. Running the air raid for 2 years. What are we doing here?
Let's speed him up a little bit. Bit before we get him out of here and before we play Naughty or Tice. Are you ready to play Naughty or Tice?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
First, before we play Naughty or Tice, just fill in the blank. You just mentioned best running back prospect you've ever seen, best quarterback prospect you have ever seen.
Andrew Luck, easily. He's the best prospect ever.
Best offensive lineman prospect you have seen.
Tristan Wirfs.
Best wide receiver prospect you have seen.
Oh, that's hard. Marvin Harrison Sr. Actually, no, that's a lie. Julio Jones, but that was maybe a little before me.
The most likely to be transcendent superstar not named Travis Hunter is blank.
Ooh, that's a great question. Not named. Oh, I would say Abdul Carter would probably be the one.
Naughty or Tice? Shedeur Sanders deserves to have his jersey retired at Colorado.
Good question.
So Tice is I agree, and Naughty is I do not agree.
You get it.
Don't complicate this game,
Naughty or Tice. Come on,
Don't complicate this game.
Naughty.
All right, he's naughty. What happened, Billy?
I just doesn't seem to get this game.
Billy, you're executive producing it. You want to help me out?
Okay. Omarion Hampton will be a first-round pick in the draft. Naughty or Tice?
Tice.
One word, like it.
Okay, everyone is sick of Aaron Rodgers, and he won't be signed before the draft. Naughty or Tice?
Tice. I'm not before the draft. I think that's going to be a little bit after that.
Okay.
But you want me to expand on that running back one? Yeah, there might be 3 running backs that go in the first round.
We can.
And yeah.
All right, naughty or Tice? Trevor Lawrence is not that guy.
Naughty. Absolutely naughty. No, Trevor Lawrence is legit.
Are you
It's
saying
just
naughty to him not
Chris,
being
I'm
that
confused
guy?
by this game. I'm confused which
I
answer
totally am
means.
following.
Yeah,
The
naughty
question
or
was-
Tice. Yeah,
The question
more
was
than two QBs.
he's not that guy, and he said not to that. So that's two negatives. So he's saying that he is that guy.
But he's not positive that Trevor Lawrence is good.
Why are you guys complicating such a simple game?
I'm positive he's good. I'm very positive he's good. It's
but
just
it-
that
no,
a lot of people
naughty-
watching Jacksonville at 1 p.m. Are we all watching Jacksonville
Tony
Jaguars
is
tape?
allegedly, but
Naughty or Tice? It's very simple. All right, naughty or Tice? Ben Johnson will lead the Bears to a winning record this season.
Tice. I think they just go over the edge.
Naughty
I'm
or-
actually buying the Bears hype this year.
Naughty,
Finally,
naughty
I'm
or
buying
time. More than 2 quarterbacks will be taken in the first round of the NFL draft this year.
it. Naughty. I actually one of my bold takes is only one will go in the first round.
Naughty or Tice? Nico Iamaleava got bad advice.
Oh, Tice. He got real bad. Well, Tennessee might be happy with it. I think he got bad advice trying to up the number and everything. I think he should have just taken his soup and been happy with it, to be honest, based on his play.
Is that an expression?
So I do think he got bad advice.
What expression was that? What was that expression? What
I have
happened?
no idea. That was
there
a round.
What happened? Was there
metaphor.
soup taken there?
So
Taking
I-
soup and
in my head, I pictured, "Can I have some more, sir?" You know, like
Okay.
that came to my head
Porridge,
mid sentence.
sir.
And
Look, all right. This is
Do you
disgusting.
know where that's from,
to me.
Chris?
I do, but Toroy.
Nate,
Come on, man.
Nate, it is not naughty or Tice, and then like you got to pick either naughty or Tice.
Can I
I've
propose?
been answering, and
Yeah.
then a comma.
Can I
and then
propose a
go.
spin-off to Naughty or Tice? Naughty and Tice. And we ask you a question, you tell us the naughty side, and then from the other perspective, the people that think it's Tice.
Jackson Dart is no longer attending the draft in Green Bay because he will not be drafted in the first round.
Tice. I think he goes in the second.
But
I
no-
think
but-
the Saints do like him though.
But he's asking you to play the game differently. He's asking you to make the argument on one side for naughty and
Okay,
on the other.
Naughty
the
and
naughty
Tice.
side. The naughty side is that he is going the first round. He just wanted to be with his family and just hang out. The Tice side is that actually he's going on day 2, which is where he should be going. I think that's my perspective on it.
Nate, our guy, our special boy, Riley Leonard, naughty or Tice, day 2 player this year.
Naughty side is that no, have you watched him throw? Oh my God, that's
Yes.
day 3. The Tice side is, oh my God, yes, he is. He's a surprising guy that might go on day 2, maybe even top 90, because he's a good athlete, he's tough, and he actually has a little bit more arm talent than people give him credit for. But yes, that is our guy, Jess, me, you, and Mike Golick Jr.
Hand up. I think I made this game more confusing now.
Yeah, you
'cause We're
did.
not getting any
Very
answers.
You did,
Absolutely
and he
did.
extended it.
Answers,
and there
I don't know what he
Absolutely, yes.
believes and what he
Yeah.
doesn't
Executive
anymore.
produced by Billy Gill, ladies and gentlemen. Naughty or Tice? Thank you.
Ooh, wait, one more. Naughty or Tice? Andrew Luck, considering the hype and how he retired early because of injury, bust?
Naughty. That's I'm not even going with the Tice side there. That's naughty.
Executive produced by Billy Gill. One last question. Thank you. Appreciate your time, Nate. It is true. Your eyes are lagoons.
Tice. They are lagoons.
Thank you. I want to talk for a second about something Aaron Rodgers related here. That I was laughing because the other day, Mina Kimes was sort of dragged away from Aaron Rodgers has spoken on Pat McAfee, and retired quarterback who's not retired, who's not that wanted and not that good anymore, trying to make a decision on a lot of bad offers and maybe one in Pittsburgh, but not one in Minnesota. The free agency of Aaron Rodgers, who would play if somebody appeared with a job offer that made him feel like a good quarterback, but instead he is only in the news to continually make news. Mina Kimes was pulled away from the conversation we were having to react to the breaking news of Aaron Rodgers is speaking, and has done it so many times that she is made weary by there is no new ground to be covered here. He was bad at playing quarterback last year, and now he's not terribly wanted, but he's famous and he's infamous. And this ending is going to be intriguing if unwanted. And so now Aaron Rodgers exists basically, Zaz, to just be something that is the last embers of what kind of conversation can we make around old, famous tired quarterback?
I think he's going to retire. I don't think he's playing anymore. I think he's going to retire, and I think stringing it out like this works in his favor, where he can make it sound like I decided I don't want to play football anymore. Like he said with the Jets. The Jets asked, do you want to play football? He said, I'm interested. And now he doesn't know because he's got things going on in his personal life. That's why there's no timetable with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he's going to eventually make it sound like, not that he was pushed out, but he ultimately decided head's not in anymore. I think he's going to retire.
I found his quotes on his ending with the New York Jets to be pretty fascinating, and like is usually the case when he joins Pat McAfee, totally lacking in self-awareness. He took exception to being flown in across the country
on his own dime
to meet with Aaron Glenn and have Aaron Glenn not waste his time. Like, Aaron Glenn just said, hang on 1 second, let me go bring the GM in here.
Well, he made it sound like they were mid-conversation and Aaron Glenn ran out.
And he's like, let me get our GM. Look, Aaron, our plan here is to not bring you back. Now, it's weird that Aaron Rodgers, of all people, takes exception to, this could have been an email. Considering how much he likes to draw things out, I imagine he was stunned that not everybody else operates that way. And I would get it, Aaron, if this were Green Bay. But to Aaron Glenn, you're Tim Boyle. Like, you're very clearly not a part of their plans. If anything, they did you a great service, so you can draw this out however long you want. They didn't waste any of your time. I found it to be very weird to have it to, like, it sounded like he was taking a shot at Aaron Glenn for how Aaron Glenn treated him. Aaron Glenn owes you nothing.
He was very disrespectful to me, was the tack that he took. The Jets owe him nothing. Aaron Glenn owes him less than nothing. And by the way, if this took place over a phone call, Aaron Rodgers would have said, you didn't even have the guts to tell me face to face.
Let me take up the other position, though, here, because I do understand how it is that Aaron Rodgers would receive all of that coldly. And you guys saying he owes them nothing, they owe him nothing. He gave 2 years at the end of his career to that franchise and thought he did so with all of the power in the world. That he would not be disabused in those 2 years, you don't have that power anymore. You deserve the respect of this meeting to be more human. I understand why he would crave a 2-hour conversation, a human connection, but you guys are saying, nope, at the end, this is how cold employment gets. We just sever our ties. And in this instance, it's interesting to hear Aaron Rodgers plead for humanity and respect. He's feeling that's all disrespectful in its coldness.
It sounds like he was craving a preamble. Like he didn't like what he was being told and then took exception to how quick it was. Zaz is on the money. He would have been insulted if they didn't bring him in for this meeting, and he would have made a whole deal of it. He just didn't like the breakup. But it's a weird fixation that he has with drawing things out. Like, they know that about you. They actually made this super efficient so you can take all the time that you want. And also a little awareness that this didn't work out the way that anybody wanted. Not you, not them in New York. And this is how a breakup happens.
You guys don't find it funny, though, that basically all that's actually happening here at the end is that Giant legend Aaron Rodgers, or Packers legend Aaron Rodgers, just wanted a hug at the end?
It wouldn't have just been about a hug. He would have found something else to complain about. It's just, I understand why he feels like his time is wasted. But it's just a weird messenger from a guy that's been wasting our time now he's doing the Favre thing over and over again. Will he or won't he? Only he doesn't have the suitors.
I'm at the point where my eyes just gloss over when I see any bit of text written about Aaron Rodgers. I just, I don't care. I don't want to cover everything he says like it's news anymore, and my eyes just gloss over it, and I'm like, I just play, don't play, I don't care. Let me know in September what team he's on.
I think you speak for everybody there. And it was just weird that I've seen the career arc of Mina Kimes. Once upon a time, Aaron Rodgers showed up at her apartment to do a magazine profile because he wanted to be seen by the world, to Mina Kimes is now on Celebrity Jeopardy saying scared money don't make money, and saying I don't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers anymore. That became boring 2 years ago. Like let's talk about the quarterbacks who were good last year. Let's talk about the quarterbacks who weren't all in the 20s and what the advanced metrics are.
For me, it's the respect part that I think stands out the most. Like, wouldn't you quantify the way his relationship, at least publicly, with Robert Saleh was pretty disrespectful?
That to me is what I'm seizing on here. It's a weird message coming from Aaron Rodgers. Like often, he exposes his own hypocrisies, and that's fine. We can be hypocritical people, but at least have the self-awareness here that they are very clearly starting a new chapter.
Okay, but can you just allow this one thing, right? I don't know how people become egomaniacs. I don't know what it is to be as great at anything as Aaron Rodgers was at quarterback. But if he still thinks that he is a talent to be respected throughout that sport for having a mastery of that position that very few have ever had, my guess is I understand why he would have blind spots where his arrogance is about, I'm the greatest. Treat me like I'm the greatest.
Well, the market's not treating him like that.
Understood? But you understand how he arrives at the blind spot? When
I know how he became an egomaniac and kept finding out algorithms that just fortified his own beliefs. Like, I read a book on the guy with my ears. Like, I understand how this came to be, but I don't like it. And I really take exception to it when you start taking shots at people because, like, he, on his way out the door, he wanted to make one more mess for the Jets and say, the guy that you hired, he's not a good people person. This is how he treated me. Like, dude, it didn't work out. They did you a great service by telling you directly to your face, your future's not with us anymore. For you to still be taking pot shots out of what history will reflect on your time over there with the New York Jets as one of the biggest sporting disasters of all time.
That is a hot take from Mike Ryan, and the Boost Mobile line is filled with hot takes.
May I just add, it will not go down as one of the biggest sporting disasters of all time because of how boring and uninteresting it was. We will not remember it because it basically never happened.
The Boost Mobile hot take line, I am told by Chris Cody and
Just
others.
kidding. I forgot about the flag thing.
We're gonna remember
We will remember that.
We will remember that.
That was fun.
It has gotten more and more popular despite the fact that I don't believe the callers are very good. I believe many of them are lazy. And I believe that this sponsor, Boost, which has done a great job supporting us, deserves a better effort from our audience. But let's see if this batch is any better.
If in the NBA playoffs a team beats another team by 45-plus points, series over. Series over. Congratulations, you move on.
Hey guys, it's Scott in North Carolina. My hottest, craziest take is that I liked Mike's shirt. It wasn't that bad.
Hey, this is Ben on a walking phone. What is the chit in a chit chat? I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, this is Chris from an El Paso restroom. I want to give my figure limited to Tony Soprano. Yeah, honey, that's the Jets coach. Why you go say hi?
Colton here. Hot take. Supermarket checkout lines. You have to go in, take a test to determine if you can go on the self-checkout line. Got to give them like 10 items, maybe a bakery item, fruit, vegetable, a couple easy ones. You have to get it done under a minute. If not, you have to go grocery bag checkout line.
This is 80 on a mobile. First time, long time. My hot take is Lou Dort needs to be a Hall of Famer just by overcoming the name Lou Dort. I'll hang up and listen.
The Boost Mobile boldest take from the weekend is presented by Boost Mobile, the newest 5G network in the country.
Billy, it's Fast and Furious, Billy. It's Carlito's Way, Billy. Andy loves baseball. Andy, it's Bad Monkey, Billy. It's John Ortiz. Are you excited? Fast and the Furious. I figured you'd be sniffing around this one.
I'm so excited. It's great to see you, John Ortiz. How are you?
It's great to see you guys. This is amazing. I'm like completely like a kid in a candy shop in here watching you guys and hearing you guys.
What piece of candy am I?
You are a Jolly Rancher.
Wow, good guess. I would have gone candy corn. I would have gone...
That's not nice, Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
What do you mean it's not nice?
That's terrible candy. It's a
li-
color thing.
I like candy corn.
Why don't you do Roy next?
But a lot of people hate candy
Please don't.
corn.
But I love candy corn.
But you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just trying
you
to.
did.
I'm just collecting data here. Do Roy next.
Please
Go
don't.
ahead. Just do Roy.
John, how do you feel about candy corn?
Candy corn on a scale of 1 to 10 is about a 1.8.
Wow.
John, when you did Bad Monkey, and thank you for joining us, I want to talk about this dream project that you're presently doing, because I did not know that you were a baseball fan, but I enjoyed Bad Monkey for a number of reasons. One of them, because you guys really honored Carl Hiaasen, and because you really honored Miami and Key West, and I've rarely seen anything on television that had that kind of touch on things. So thank you for making it, but what was your experience with making it?
I loved making that show. It's so great. It really was an experience that's right up there with all the best ones I've had, and I've had a few. I think it's challenging to shoot in Miami in the middle of the summer.
That is correct.
It's challenging to do just about anything outdoors in Miami in the middle of the summer. But shooting a series, when you're working the 12, 16 hours a day, it gets on you, but we shot the entire series, including the interiors there. We did, Carl's stories and books are also very challenging to capture. So I honestly didn't know how it was going to all come together because of the tone that's kind of nuanced and just tricky. It's funny, but there's serious undertones in there, and it's so geographic heavy. And when it all came together, I was really pleasantly surprised. And then that audiences loved it as much as they did was just the cherry on top.
You've done so much work, so much award-winning work. When I present you with American Fiction, Silver Linings Playbook, when I put your history in front of you, is there something that you thought while you were making it that was going to stink, and then you couldn't believe how it came together because you doubted it throughout?
I not necessarily I doubted it, but I just didn't know, kind of like Bad Monkey, how it was going to come out, because we were doing so many different takes. We were just going for stuff without too much thought. We just trusted whatever was put in front of us. So Bad Monkey and the second one that's right up there, and they're similar in the way we attacked it, was Silver Linings Playbook. I had no idea. I knew we had a great time doing it. We believed in everything that we were doing, but in terms of what the hell is this going to feel like or look like, I had no idea. We had David O. Russell just behind a camera, just throwing lines out at us, and we would just say them. And then Fast and Furious. I the first time I was offered the role, I turned it down.
Are you crazy?
Well, if you recall, that's the first time in 4 was when Vin Diesel and Paul Walker were going to come back. So Tokyo Drift, they weren't in. And it wasn't that much of a hit. And I had just done Miami Vice, another 305 plug. And the roles were similar. So I said, nah. And I was convinced to do it. And that was a shocker that it was that big of a hit.
Billy, what are you shaking your head about?
Tokyo Drift was not that important. Some would argue Tokyo Drift holds the entire framework of the franchise together. There are so many plot points that go through Tokyo Drift, and then you look at the different timelines.
You sound
John,
like a fool,
respectfully,
John.
I don't think you know what the hell you're talking
John,
about.
you sound like a fool.
Billy.
You don't understand what you're talking about. You disrespect.
Well, I tell you, I didn't say it wasn't important. I just said it wasn't that big of a hit.
Yeah. Who do you side with, The Rock or Vin Diesel, on this feud that was going on? You were there. You probably got to know both of them. Whose side were you on?
Thankfully, I wasn't there.
Oh,
so
thankfully.
I plead the fifth on that one.
All right, that stinks because we needed to know what the truth was there.
John,
Make something up.
John, you're you're in the opening scene of Carlito's Way, which is really one of my all-time favorite movie scenes, in the billiard room with the drug dealers. What do you remember about filming that scene?
Oh my God. First of all, that was my first movie ever. So as you can probably imagine, I was nervous as hell. And right before the very first take of that scene, we were shooting it in a studio. So we were outside the door, the entrance, which wasn't real, it was built. And so we're like halfway in a club and halfway in just a makeshift space. And I'm trying to be serious actor because I'm right next to the legend Al Pacino. And lo and behold, he's chit-chatting me. And I'm like, this guy, I can't believe it. I was just like so surprised that he would just be talking about whatever as we're preparing to get in. Yeah, I stole it from the earlier segment.
You stole the chit chat from. You were listening to the Boost Mobile hotline.
I love the Boost Mobile hotline. That thing was just so entertaining. I was just like, give me more. And now I'm just obsessed with chit. Anyway, so we're hanging out, which it seems like forever, but it's really like 3 minutes, right? Before they get the cameras going and waiting for action. Very first action I hear ever professionally from Brian De Palma. I'm just waiting, but I can't because Al Pacino's chit-chatting. And he's like, so what'd you do this weekend? And I'm like, I took my girlfriend out for her birthday. We went to the movies and had dinner. And he's like, how old did she turn? And I'm like, 23. And there's a slight pause, and then he says, good age. Action!
This project that you're now doing, John, the Diamond King, your love of baseball, before we get to it, how much could we badger you right now on the Knicks and have you run scared because that your confidence is shaken after last night?
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed. A buddy of mine who's a Clippers fan just texted me at 7 a.m. out here, and I just responded by saying, I hate basketball, which is of course not true. But I'm really down, but I'm not nervous at all. We're definitely going to take the series. So what I'm loving about it is that it's a real throwback to when I first fell in love with the Knicks, which was when Bernard King was dropping 50 every night.
I don't think you can feel like you definitely anything. Like definitely going to take the series from the Pistons. You have not earned that confidence. Why would you have that confidence?
Because the Pistons are talented, but they're a young team, and I think they're just going to fold.
John, can you rate my Al Pacino from that billiard scene in Carlito's Way if I do it for you? I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need any help? Do you want me to throw you a line or something?
No, you're already dead at this point. Your character's already dead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the bathroom.
Spoiler alert.
He's hiding out. He's going to go out. All right, ready?
Yeah.
You think you're big time? Well, you're going to die. Big time.
That is on my infamous scale of 1 to 10. That's a 7.6.
Solid.
Good job. Good job, Dad. Good job. That's a Suey nominee right there.
Good.
Zaz, ask him what he did this weekend now.
The next time I come on the show, if I'm fortunate enough to ever be invited, I got to tell you one of the best stories of that scene, of that moment, actually.
All right, we need it right now, and we'll wait because I want to have you on again, but I want that story right now.
I'll give you the very short version, but I couldn't. I was on very little sleep because we shot that over the course of 2 days, and it took way over the 12 hours. to complete the first day, and they called me in like a 6 to 7 hour break the next day because I had to put on the prosthetic for my neck, and that took a long time. So I had very little sleep, maybe like an hour. So I was on caffeine the whole day. And when we finally got to that scene, which was at the very, very end of the night, Pacino needed to fly to LA for the Oscars. He was nominated for 2 that year. And for anyone who can answer the 2 movies that he was nominated for, I'll send you a prize. And I'll give you a couple of minutes.
Roy, go ahead and take your guess.
A Scent of a Woman.
Roy.
Scent of a Woman is what he has guessed.
But there's 2.
Roy, he's trapped you because the difficult one was not the first one. You jumped into the breach. You're like, I got it, Dan, and then you had no number 2.
Glenn Ross.
You're
okay.
You're stuck out there now, Roy. Now what do you do?
I lost.
Yeah. You lost because it was a really nice prize that was coming at you, and I was afraid to depart with it. So thank you for
you're welcome.
But what is the second movie? Are you going to tell us?
Dick Tracy.
Oh yeah.
Whoa,
yeah,
who would have
Dick
guessed
Tracy.
that?
That's right. Well, that's why he was doing that to us. Your Pacino, your Pacino was great. I'm sorry we interrupted you.
No. That was nice. That was a nice little break. So there's a lot of pressure to get him on the plane, and right after he does that speech, he bangs open the door, and there's a beautiful long crane shot that goes through the bathroom, through the doorway, and lands on me, and then pans to him, lands on me dead, pans to him, and he says, there are no friends in this business, primo. And he takes the money and leaves. Well, when the camera got to me, my eyes were blinking because I was so jittery on caffeine that De Palma would yell, cut. And it happened 4 or 5 times. And by the 5th time, it was like De Palma decided to take Pacino aside, and I could hear the conversation because I was stuck in a pool of fake blood. And he says, I'm sorry about this. I know you got a plane to catch, but I'm just going to not go to the kid, and I'm going to just stay on you. And I was devastated. I thought for sure my acting career was going to be over. I'm playing dead. I can't even do that.
You're disappointing Pacino while just laying on your side, trying not to get in the way, trying to hide under the floor.
In a pool of blood.
Dude, so embarrassed. Shame. And Pacino says, give me a minute, clears the entire room. Everyone leaves. So I'm like, guess I got to get out of this sticky fake blood. And I'm starting to move. And he's like, no, stay. I'm going to have I just needed everyone to get out of here. I'm going to have an espresso. Do you want one? And that's the last thing I should be drinking. But I'm not going to say no to an espresso from Al Pacino. I'm like, yeah, sure. And we have an espresso. I don't know what we talked about, but it lasted maybe, 45 seconds. And he's like, all right, let's do this. And we go back in, and it gets to that moment where I was hearing cut over and over again, and I don't hear cut. And it continues, and I hear his line, and I feel his, his fingers taking the money. And he leaves. I hear his footsteps, and then I hear cut, and Brian saying, we got it, that's it, it's a wrap. And then Pacino, as everyone is wishing him good luck and surrounding him, I'm just looking at him from afar, still on the floor, covered in fake blood, and he turns around, and this is like an iconic moment for me, but he turns around just as he's leaving the room, and he shouts out to the room, if I win them both, I ain't coming back. And he leaves. And I was like, that's my man.
You think you're big time?
You're going to die. Big time.
The Diamond King is available Friday, April 25th. Why does the project mean something to you? Because I'm being told it's a dream project for you.
Yeah, I love documentaries, man. I'm a documentary nerd. I love sports documentaries. And I love baseball. And I always, wanted to be Morgan Freeman and narrate a movie. So all those three things came together. And then they told me what the project was about, the subject. And it's a baseball artist named Dick Perez, who's Puerto Rican. He grew up in New York City, and I didn't know who he was. And I used to collect baseball cards. So when I found out who he was, there were parallels to my life, and I jumped right in and did it. And I'm so glad because I think it's a beautiful film.
Is it true that your son is named Clemente after Roberto Clemente?
He is named Clemente.
My cousin's name is Roberto after Roberto Clemente.
Really?
Yeah. If you combine them, you'd have Roberto Clemente.
There you go. We got to get them together. And,
but his middle name's Fenway for some reason, but we don't talk about that. It's fine.
The Diamond King on video on demand on Apple TV, Prime Video, Google TV, and more. Thank you, John. Appreciate your work. Bad Monkey and elsewhere. Carlito's Way most of all.
Thanks so much. It was a pleasure being here.
I don't think also we talked enough about the Knicks and the Pistons and the NBA players have voted Tyrese Halliburton the most overrated player in the league.
Really?
Which seems unfair. He's a really good player.
That just means they don't like him.
But it's so strange. He's an excellent player.
Well, it's a hallmark of a good show when you have so many things he wanted to get to and can't. We didn't even dive deep at all in the new dangerous alliance between Seth frickin' Rollins and Braun Breaker.
And also J.D. Vance and the Pope.
And the Cavender twins video.
Also,
yeah.
Kanye used to suck his cousin.
Let's not do that.
Oh.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
The Cavender twins and J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance killed the Pope.
Well, there's a lot of memes going around because J.D. Vance met with the Pope, obviously, a few hours before he died. And the memes are things like, what is J.D. Vance's full name? And it's just killed da Pope Vance and things of that nature. So he's getting a lot of flack for it. I've seen a lot of people also saying he didn't kill the Pope. The Pope met him and then killed himself, which is very dark. Wow. But
that's not what happened.
A lot of people are
he
also
actually wasn't
saying
able to meet with him.
that if this were a Veep episode, it would have crushed, which that I do agree with.
And how about the timing for our partners over at Peacock with Conclave premiering soon?
I was going to say, have you seen Conclave? That movie's awesome.
Dude, I've never been so enraptured with a bunch of old dudes voting.
The movie's awesome.
I would vote for Ray Fiennes to be the new Pope.
Yeah.
Is Conclave a movie? I thought it was a series. I didn't know it was just one movie.
No, it's a movie.
Okay. And it's excellent.
Nominated for Best Picture. Yeah. No, it's you'll be totally gripped by this movie about voting.
Yeah.
Zaslow. I'm surprised that Zaslow got ensnared.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that process. This is incredible.
I couldn't believe how many times I went during a movie about old guys voting.
It's like a mystery thriller about electing a pope. And it's great. It was not. I think it won Best Adapted Screenplay, right? Because it was based off of a book, and the ending is there's a twist at the end.
Great
and the ending
twist.
the twist in the end of the book apparently is different than the movie. I haven't read the book. No, I don't think I am going to read the book because I've seen the movie. But anyways, I digress. Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci. Which one would you vote for, Dan? Or Mystery Third Pope, Italian guy who vapes, or
What
John
about
Lithgow?
Lithgow?
I'm a big fan of
Who would you vote
Lithgow.
for? Pick one.
I'm gonna try and watch Conclave.
Yeah.
Pick one. Italian guy who vapes. Stanley Tucci, Ray Fiennes, John Lithgow.
I thought it wasn't Ray Fiennes. I thought it was Ralph. I thought
It's
his name
Ray
was. I thought it was.
His friends call him Ray.
No, I think it's Ralph.
Just pick one.
I'm picking Fiennes.
Oh, I wanted you to say the Italian guy because then I would have said you're a fascist.
Okay,
he's
well,
a
why
bad
don't
guy.
you just tell me
Okay,
what
say
to
the Italian
All
guy.
right,
So I get to. Go.
It's still Ray Fiennes, though. I thought it's still Ralph.
It's neither.
All right, the Italian
Ralph nor
guy.
Fiennes.
Boo! He stinks.
Boo.
Don't vote for him.
Fascist.
From game night to parties with friends or special anniversary, celebrating important occasions means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer since 1975. Now's a perfect time to celebrate legendary stories with friends, family, and a great tasting light beer. It's Miller time. When I think of Miller Lite, I think of me and my dad cheersing, watching a Marlins game on a cruise together. We get the tsk-tsk-ah and the cheers. It's just, when I think of Miller Lite, I think of times with my dad, times with family and friends. It's the original light beer since 1975, still iconic 50 years later. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
They were given a little bit of extra effort. Word got to them. What was on the line tonight? Not the playoffs. Real ballers know. This was the Zaslow game.
Tyler, Hero put up 30 points and hit 2 threes in overtime. Makes me forget just how bad we suck this year and all the Jimmy Butler shit. Cause now Dan's gotta buy him tickets. Yeah. Who cares if the Heat gets wet by the Cavs? Zaz gets to see Pro Jam. He lies and says they've got a chance to win. Zaz gets to see Pro Jam. The Heat are 8 games below 500, but Zaz gets to see Pro Jam. Who knows if they'll ever be good again? Zaz gets to see Pro Jam.
My favorite part of that ridiculous 3-hour live stream that introduced us to too much Zaz over the next 3 months could have been working for free. Instead, we're going to pay him to be a plague around everything we're doing. My favorite part of the 3 hours of analysis is there was only one player in that game in which we were asking the question, is he a good player? And it was Davion Mitchell. The person who won that game at the end, because the only person who we were questioning out there is that person a good player? Somehow Zaslow is still confident about tonight. He should not be. Tomorrow night, he should not be. And Mike and Roy head into, right now, tonight, the hockey playoffs. Already we've got Chris with the heavy tongue. Billy, are you going to be dragged into this mess? Because
I'm watching. I told you I'm watching. I know the outcome already, but I'll be there to support
What is the outcome? Lightning,
we don't need to do this
lightning ain't shit.
Your words, not mine.
They are your words.
That came out of your mouth.
They were your words verbatim. I was quoting you.
Plenty of us own words, really. I mean, we just say things, but
Pat Riley owns 3 feet.
That's true.
Wish you could bring one here, but that's
you guys aren't scared at all. You guys are not. Roy, you've done this every postseason. You're 1 for 2. Okay.
Yeah, but that was a big one, wasn't it?
Well, you're 1 for 30, really. Like, because
1 for 30.
You've been very hopeful about the Panthers many times in my lifetime. This is a rarefied air for you. I don't know where. As a sports fan, I think Roy is living right now as a sports fan the top end of what sports can feel like. And this is a first-round matchup. Don't like it for my feelings. Don't like it for my heart. Don't like it for my history. Would like something easier in the first round as the defending champions.
Oh, I love it right now. There is an element to it where, okay, let's get the super hard series out of the way first. When the longer you go in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the more beat up physically you're going to be. Let's get it on right now, baby. Come on. And you know what? Who knows what happens at Washington and Montreal? It took overtime for Washington to beat Montreal. You may wind up playing, maybe it's Montreal in the conference finals. Maybe it's Ottawa in the conference finals. Whatever. Let's face a hard team right now when we're fully healthy.
I'm nervous because the Panthers haven't played really well over the last month and a half. And also, it kind of felt like, as the season went on, wow, Florida definitely shut that Rangers window. Florida definitely shut that Bruins window.
Yep.
We thought that we kind of shut that Lightning window.
We did. It's closed.
And they revamped their roster. They made a lot of ballsy moves, said goodbye to Stamkos, but they made an aggressive move, got Jake Gensel on their team. They reshaped their roster a little bit, and they're ascending. Florida hasn't been really great on form lately, but Florida's getting guys back, and you wonder if they'll subscribe to this championship mentality that teams that have gone on cup runs subscribe to, which is, yeah, we can turn it on when we want.
You're
Yeah.
talking about. Oh, go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, the subtraction of Steven Stamkos hasn't really affected the Lightning's power play at all, and I expect this series to be overly physical. Like if it's going to go 7, then we might lose some players in this series, unfortunately. But yeah, I believe it's going to go 6 myself, but it's probably going to end up going 7.
Well, hold on. If you know you're the Panthers and you know that there's a strength in the Lightning's power play, right? Just follow the rules. Throw them off. Don't make any penalties. Don't give them that advantage at any point in time.
But the
That's
Panthers'
coaching.
strength is playing aggressively, so it's a fine line.
Don't cross it.
It's a double-edged sword.
Fine blue line.
You guys are talking about owning words. Do you think Carson Beck trademarked the "you is Beck"?
That's a good one.
If he didn't, we should.
Do you guys have?
Is he gonna be here next
Do you guys have the video of the latest Cavender twin drama and Carson Beck? Is that something? Isn't that something we were going to try to get to today that we never got to?
Mike?
I don't understand how we're you asking me the question?
I'm asking.
We have the video.
We
It's
have the
here
video
if you
if
want to
you'd
play
I was
it.
asking everybody.
Are we
the
asking
question.
that
Aren't we? Like the voice kept going higher. I'm like, if you want to, pal.
I think we're tiptoeing around your feelings, to be honest.
My feelings is we're playing a clip of someone's ex-girlfriend talking bad about them. So let's go.
An athlete at the University of Miami this past season, 2 of them actually, including a current student, that's the granddaughter of Donald Trump.
3 athletes actually in the video. Yeah.
And 2 of them are public figures, so I think it's kind of fair game.
Look, he definitely has it. He moves the needle, Carson Beck. Play the clip.
So basically, we were supposed to we go to Nashville, right? He didn't want to come to Nashville. Whole breakout, all this jazz. Yeah. On his phone like this, guy, the whole time. Like, dude, get off your phone. But does he have friends? No. Like all the nobody likes it. And he wouldn't talk to people. He's like an ego. He's like he wanted people to stop him and take a picture. He would flip off people in the bar, and I'd be embarrassed. Like I'm sorry. I'd be very embarrassed, and I was like, oh my god, how are you? Anyhow, so I broke up with him, and then I broke up with him, and all these cheating came out. I had no idea. I didn't break up with him because he's cheating. I broke up with him because